Ears.
I'll tell you this: 8 seconds wasn't long enough to fucking fix it. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday Night Hooptalk. I'm Chris.
Off to a good start already.
OG Tony and Jay McLevin. How's it going, guys?
That's what she said.
Going pretty good, not bad. Hanging in there. Been having some warm weather, so
I gotta try to fix this. I'm still here.
Okay.
I think 8 seconds. If you're in the rodeo world, though, 8 seconds is a good.
8 seconds.
That's a good score.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty good in the rodeo world.
8 seconds is a long ride in the rodeo world.
It is definitely, guys. Well, we're not talking rodeo tonight. Maybe some other time. But let's jump into some hoops, guys. Let's go do some NBA. We're going to do some. Going to crank up the college basketball a little bit today too. But let's talk a little NBA. Looks like the NBA All-Star Game, according to the ratings, was I won't say a big success, but more of a success. More people turned into this one than it has for the last 3 or 4 years. I watched. There was like 3-minute games. I watched 1-minute game. It was entertaining. Got to see 2 players basically go off, and that was pretty much it. And in that game, it was Wembanyama and of course I'm gonna forget the other guy's name for the Clippers. Kawhi went off. He scored 31 points in 12 minutes, and he was hot, but he couldn't do nothing in the last game. So I guess he spit it off in that one. But the last game wasn't much of a game. The Stars beat the Stripes 47-21 in that last game. The other 2 games were pretty good. I mean, the first one I didn't watch. I seen the second game. What I seen. Second game was pretty good. Did you guys watch any of it? And what did you guys think?
Go ahead, Chris. You go first.
I did not watch any of it, but from what I've read about it, I got on TV got the best ratings in 15 years. I think at one point they had 10 million people watching on Sunday watching the game. I didn't watch any of it, but when I did check the box scores, I did see that the first 2 games, I think both of them were decided by like 2 points. Last game was a little bit of a blowout. It was interesting to me that they got such good ratings on TV, but from the reports I heard, not very many fans was at the actual game.
3,000, Chris. They said 3,000 were in it. They said they even put lights and in the stands to make it look like there was more people there than actual.
No, Jay, they didn't put more lights. It's the arena, Chris, that has the lights on the seats.
Arena, it has lights on every seat.
It has a light on every seat.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that is.
But I did hear. I have read from multiple things that there wasn't there wasn't a whole lot of people there. Like it didn't sell out like it normally does at the live venue, but it got a lot better ratings on TV than what it used to. I think the format trying USA versus the world helped. I think it would have helped better if it would have been.
No, sorry about that. Sorry. That was my OnlyFans account. My bad.
Smasher meal. Is that what you called Smasher meal?
My bad. Technical difficulties over here.
I do think they would have done even better ratings if it would have been one of the United States teams against the world team in the championship game of the little tournament instead of just just the round robin. But I think it would have got better ratings. I think even more people might have tuned in. But I mean, it seems like that format helped them, especially TV wise. Now they got to figure out how they get people to come to the actual event.
Yeah.
Or if people ain't going to come to the event, do it in a smaller arena and turn it into more of a TV product.
Yep. What I think they should do, the NBA makes a lot of money. I think that game should be cheaper price tickets, and the money should go to a charity organization. I think maybe that would help it. And then they're going to get their TV ratings. And another thing could help TV ratings. And I'm not, if a guy's hurt, I understand. But there's a lot of stars didn't play. They was on the team, they were there, but they didn't play. And that don't help any either.
Did anybody watch any of the slam dunk contest or the 3
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I
No,
didn't watch it, but I did go back and watch the videos on YouTube and stuff. I watched all the events after the fact. Damian Lillard got the 3-point on a torn ACL, so that tells me that the 3-point contest, there was a whole lot of competition there when the guy with the torn ACL is winning it. So I was a little disappointed a little bit in that, but I was really more so disappointed in the slam dunk competition. I think at this point in time, it's almost like just get rid of it, because the dunks, Chris, that they were doing were ridiculous. Like one guy just went up there and just did a casual dunk, and I'm like, you got a 47 for that? I'm like, what are we doing? And then the other guy, he tried to go do some kind of reverse or something, and he hit his head on the backboard and just went bam and slapped into the ground. Like, didn't even make it. Just hit the backboard with his head and then hit the ground. And then the other guy, I don't know what, he just did a basic windmill dunk, or like a just behind the back dunk. And I'm like, I don't know. It was nothing. It was almost kind of like, what are we doing? Is this what we're? I don't know. It was a really letdown. It was a huge letdown.
Yeah, I haven't watched the slam dunk contest. Contest. What the fuck? Contest. I don't know what the hell going on, but anyway, in years. And one of the reasons is none of the stars compete in it no more. Like when I was growing up, man, like the slam dunk contest, that was the big thing of the All-Star weekend. That's why everybody, at least everybody my age, that's what we cared about. But we got to see Jordan versus Wilkins and Clyde Drexler, Spud Webb, and the stars was in it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we got to see that. I remember we'd be at the skating rink on a Friday, Saturday night, and they would have it on the TVs there. Hell, there wouldn't hardly be anybody on the rink at that time. Everybody would be over, gathered around the TV watching the slam dunk contest. And then we'd go back to skating after the 15, 20 minutes, however long the contest took. Like, and then now, I don't even know very many people, like most of the people I talk to, don't watch it no more. And a lot of it is because you don't have the stars like you did. Like when you had Jordan, even when Dwight Howard and them guys were still doing it.
Superman.
But now you got guys that nobody knows.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the best dunk contests I've ever seen was at Gus Macker's basketball tournaments. You see these guys do some of the best dunks ever. Dunks, some better than I've seen on the slam dunk contest there, but nobody knows who they are. That's what people watch for. I mean, if people don't know, we don't draw nobody.
Chris, did you see the Brandon Gus Macker back to Muncie?
Yeah, back to Muncie. Yep.
Yeah, first time in a long time.
Oh yeah, in years.
Yeah. I think the problem, Chris, and it's across the board. And Tony, you've been around a long time. Gonzo, you've been around a long time too. The soul of the NBA is gone. There's no soul left in it, man. It is a straight, what are you going to do for me league? And if you're not paying me, I'm not playing. And back in those days, the ones you're talking about, they went up to Vince Carter when the last great NBA dunk contest I saw was when Vince Carter had his elbow hanging in the rim. And that was the last good slam dunk competition I've seen. But those guys didn't do it for the money. They did it because it was fun and it was competitive, and they had a competitive fire. But these kids nowadays, they don't have that. It's all about give me money, and I'm going to give you at least a little bit of effort, but not a whole lot. Don't ask a lot of me, but I'm going to give me the money, and I'll give you a little bit of something. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. It goes back. You guys remember back in the day when the wide world of sports used to broadcast all this stuff? Remember how it used to be? And it's not even like that anymore. It's all gone. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I blame Adam Silver for all this BS. And I blame LeBron James for this BS because he is the face of the league. Jordan was the face of the league. And then LeBron took it over from him. And I really think that LeBron is an example of everything. The flopping, the crying, all the load management, all that bullshit. It all starts from the top, and the superstar level, it works its way down.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. The passion's gone. They're great. They're great athletes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting them down as far as athletics, and I'm not saying they don't have some hunger. but I don't think the hunger's there like it used to be. There's some players I think Alexander's got hunger. I think he's got desire. I think there's other players, Halliburton, and I think there's other players that would do anything. You see what Halliburton tried to do. So I mean, there are guys, but overall, it's not like it used to be. It's just not. But as a society, we're not like we used to be. So
yeah,
I guess
I remember Anthony Edwards said after the All-Star game was over with, he said that Wembanyama, when the world was playing them, and Wembanyama had a great game, he said he actually sparked a fire in Anthony Edwards to go out and actually start playing his game. And Anthony Edwards, went on to have, I think he had like 13 or 19 points. He had a pretty decent game. But, it took a young 21-year-old or 22-year-old in Wembanyama to go out there and have 3 or 4 blocks. He had a pretty good game. And, but it took that to spark it. And you're right. There's a few players that have that. But they're so far in between nowadays. There is no more Mamba mentality. That Kobe Bryant way of living it, or Jordan, or Isaiah Thomas, or any of those other AI, that kind of stuff is gone. It's just not there anymore.
Yeah, Wembanyama was playing. He was playing hard. I'm not saying Kawhi wasn't playing hard, but he was just chucking up threes and was hitting everything he shot. I'm not saying he wasn't playing hard, but he wasn't driving to the basket. Right. I mean, Wembanyama was trying to rebound. He was trying to drive to the basket. Right. He was playing. He was playing hard. But I mean,
I think Joker's another one. I think Joker is a guy that, he gets you a triple-double every night, right? I think there are guys still in the league that are – I like the format now. I do. I like the old guys on the – I think they're the stripes, the young guys are the stars, and then you got the world. And I think I do like the tournament. I think the game itself is still good, but everything around it is just gone downhill, man. It really is. It's not the same. It's just not.
I didn't watch any of it. Just be honest, I haven't in a long time though. I did watch a little bit of the All-Star game a couple of years ago, and when they had a different format, and it was worse. But like I said, I've heard better reviews about this year. Everything I've read about it and stuff.
It was decent.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, today's Michael Jordan's birthday,
and he just won the Daytona 500. Holding that trophy like he was when he won his first NBA championship, crying over it. I mean, it was reminiscent.
Guys, there's a lot of controversy with Michael Jordan. Do we want to talk about that?
That is so stupid.
Man, I don't know what to make of that. I think the guy was having a good time. I think he was playing around and kidding.
Have you heard what the story is? The story is that the kid had ice.
Yeah, it was ice.
Poured down his shirt, and it was down in his pants and his ice. So that's what Jordan was messing with, that ice is what he was doing. At least that's the story that I got. Now, if you watch that video for the first time and don't know anything, it did look weird. But I mean, the kid's dad standing right there.
Yeah, the stories I got the same thing. He was trying to get the ice off the kid.
Yeah, the ice was down all down his back and down his pants. And he was, and if you see him grabbing at it, so it did look weird.
I think it was probably something very innocent. Yeah. But in the world we live in today, people are going to make a thing out of it because they got to get ratings. They got to get ratings.
You know
how they are.
I get people to, I get what you're saying, but it's like he's friends with that family. Like he knows that kid. Like it ain't like the kid's a stranger from him. You know what I mean? Like he's a family, like they're all real close together. His
dad was right there. Dad was standing right next to him.
Yeah.
I think there was an issue that dad would have said something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything, but you know how people are. Let's get off that. Let's go to let's look at the standings. They start back up, I believe, Thursday. The NBA does. Not a lot has changed with Detroit leading the way in the East. Now, the one thing that has changed is Oklahoma is not as dominant, but we'll talk about when we get to them. They're, if you look at the records now, Detroit's at 40-13, Boston 35-19 in the second spot. Third spot there in the East is the Knicks 35-20, Cleveland 34-21. Cleveland's really started playing a lot better, guys. A lot better than they were at the beginning of the year. The 5 spot, Toronto 32-23, 6 spots, Philadelphia 30-24, Orlando is the 7th spot, 28-25, and Miami rounds it out, in the 8th spot, 29-27, and that's the East Division. Now in the West, what I'm getting at is Oklahoma's 42-14. They've got more losses than Detroit now. So, but I know they've had a couple injuries too, so that happens. But they really was hot at the beginning of the year. I think in the first 25 games, they only lost 1 or 2. So they've cooled off a lot. San Antonio is in the second spot, 36-16. Denver in the third spot, 35-20. Houston in the fourth spot, 33-20. The Lakers in the fifth spot, 33-21. 6 spots, Minnesota, 34-22. Phoenix in the 7th spot, 32-23. And then Golden State in the 8th spot, 29-26. Guys, what are you expecting in the second round? Do you think with the injuries with Oklahoma, let's talk the West first, could San Antonio end up taking that first place? Could that happen? Or Denver's also had injuries. So, they're 5 or 6 games back of Oklahoma. So, but San Antonio's only 2 games back in the loss column. What do you guys think? Do you think with the injuries with Oklahoma, does San Antonio have that opportunity to maybe get that first spot? Jay, what do you think?
Oh, they absolutely do. Yeah, you got 3 players. You got Harkenstein, Williams, and SGA all out on injury. I don't know what SJ is expected to be. It's supposed to be reevaluated after the All-Star break, and that was reported by Sham. So I think a lot of it just depends on how long these guys are going to be out for. If SGA, Williams, and Harkenstein are going to miss more significant time, San Antonio is only 3 games back. There's no reason why they can't take over that first place spot. Doesn't mean that they're the best team, but I think they're going to take advantage of that injury situation, and they probably will slide up to that first spot. I look at the West, and I see San Antonio's got injuries, Denver's got injuries. San Antonio has a lot of youth and a lot of talent. And I think Houston has an option or has the ability, depending on how this injury thing works out. I think Houston can make some noise and move up the ranks. I think Houston can move up to that number 3 spot. At the lowest, I think they can move it to number 3 out of the 4th spot, or maybe even possibly number 2, just depending on how long those Denver injuries last. So you can see probably some shuffling around of the top 4 spots. But ultimately, as we get closer to playoff time, those injuries are going to be interesting to me. And I think that's where it's going to come into play. How well will SGA come off injury? How well will Williams come off of injury? And so forth. And so that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to as we get closer to the NBA playoffs is what is this injury front going to look like in the West? And then how can the Rockets capitalize? How can San Antonio capitalize? I think Detroit is a good team. I don't know that they're going to go all the way. I think they have a good shot at it. Knicks have a really good shot at it, right? Boston is a good shot. But Boston is kind of one of those teams where I don't know how it's going to translate come playoff time. Without Tatum being there, I don't know 100% how that's going to come playoff time. I think San Antonio right now probably has the best chance as we currently sit. But if SGA and all them guys can come back from injury, then that could take a dramatic turn. So we'll have to wait and see.
Chris, what do you think? We'll talk.
What's SGA's injury?
He is dealing with a abdominal injury. It didn't give it too much details, but whatever it is, it's an abdominal.
Okay. Must not be real serious because I ain't even seen hardly anything about it.
And that was 13. So he's been on the injury list now for almost 2 weeks. So I don't know what is going on with that abdominal, but it must be something for it to be 2 weeks now and he hasn't played.
From everything I'm reading, I think he might be coming back after the All-Star break.
He probably will.
And it's affected the Thunder, which it should if you lose a guy like Alexander and a couple other guys because they're 5-5 in their last 10. So you can tell it's affected them.
Okay, right here. Here's something about it. Let me see what it says.
Real quick, Williams is dealing with a right hamstring issue, and that was 5 days ago. So he could be out potentially a month. Just depending on how long it takes. Yeah.
Well, that's been going on. Williams, he's had that problem all season. He's had issues with that hamstring for a while now. So, I mean, it's an issue there. Is he going to be completely healthy for the playoffs because he keeps having issues with it?
Right. And then when he gets to the playoffs, if depending on how many minutes he plays, could that be an impactful injury resurfacing
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a chance he could play as early as Friday, but he was going to get reevaluated after the All-Star break. So when they got back from the break, they'll reevaluate him. There's a chance he could be back for their first game on Friday, but nothing's been announced for sure yet. But no, yeah, it just depends on how long them guys are out. If them guys, if Alexander can come back after they'll come back on Friday after this All-Star break, and you start getting Hartenstein and Williams back, then you're going to they're going to be tough to get out of that number one spot. But, I mean, yeah, the Spurs definitely have a chance, especially with those injuries. In the East, the Knicks and Cleveland both are playing good basketball right now. So this, I think you're going to have a 3-team race there with the Celtics probably for that second spot, and it's going to be interesting to see if Tatum comes back. And the Pistons, I've been waiting on them to kind of go on a little bit of a skid, like you see some young teams do. But so far, they've been able to avoid that. So if they can just keep playing consistent basketball like they're doing, they're going to be hard to catch.
Yeah.
Real quick, Hartenstein is basically load management. When you look at it, all it says is rest.
That's what I'm saying. When I was looking, it didn't seem like the injuries were to Hartenstein and SGA were real serious at the moment.
Yeah.
The hamstring is just so touchy. You just never know about a hamstring.
I think Oklahoma's probably the most serious
one.
Yeah. I think Oklahoma's probably confident. Hey, man, if we can just be healthy at playoff time, whether we finish first, second. I mean, don't get me wrong; they would rather be first. I mean, I'm not saying that, but if they're second or third, as long as they're healthy, that's going to be their main concern. Guys, for me in the West, I just don't believe in the Lakers or Minnesota. I don't think Phoenix is strong enough for Golden State. I think there's basically 4 teams there: Oklahoma, San Antonio, Denver, and Houston. Of course, you got to give Oklahoma the big favorites, but
I wouldn't put Houston up there. Come on,
I think Houston's up there. I got to give Houston a little credit, but
I'm just messing with Jay.
But it's hard to go back to back. So Oklahoma, that's like you said, the load management. They played a long season last year, so I can understand low rest. But I think San Antonio is the real deal. I think Denver, with their experience, if they're healthy, they're the real deal. And I think Houston can play with those 3 teams. So I think it's a 4-team race. In the East, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said probably a 3-team race with Detroit, Boston, and the Knicks. But Cleveland is turning it around, and they were very disappointed at the start of the season. So Cleveland's starting to make a little bit of a believer in me again. I still don't know if it gets playoff time, if they're going to be physical enough, strong enough. I worry that they could collapse again like they did last year. But we'll see. They do have Harden now, but Harden's not always known to be the greatest playoff player, but he does have experience. He's been there. So I'm right now, if I was going to pick right now, I think the 2 best teams, Detroit and Oklahoma, but I think there's teams knocking on the door. We could see some different teams this year, so we'll see.
What worries me about Cleveland is I don't know if they have the guts. Like I don't know if they have the heart. I don't know if they have the heart, and I don't know if you can just find the heart.
And I don't think bringing Harden to that team is going to give you the heart.
Like last year in the playoffs, like the Pacers just out physical them and flat out wanted it more. I mean, and it rattled, like the Pacers had Cleveland rattled. So yeah, they're going to definitely have to be a lot tougher if they're going to want to make a deep playoff run. They're going to be a lot tougher than they were last year.
One of the things that does worry me about Houston, though, Tony, is their guard play, the point guard specifically. I mean, Thompson is doing a great job where he's at, and he's quietly becoming the leader in that team. But not having Van Fleet there really hurt them. I think if they had Van Fleet and had his point guard and his court vision and had his leadership, I think Houston would be so much even further than where they are now, which really kind of makes me wonder, why wouldn't you go and grab Harden and throw him in your point guard spot? It's not like him and Durant don't have chemistry. They worked together when they were in OKC. And under Udaka, I think they could have made that work, and that would have given us and he could definitely hit the 3-point shot. Harden came with that step back three. I don't know why they didn't grab him in, and just as a fill-in, 1 or 2 year deal, bring him in, let him fill in where Van Fleet was up there, and let's see what we can do, and let's see if we can get in this, in the finals, but they didn't do it. And they just stood pat, which I don't understand that. I don't.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it pans out, guys. Got a couple months before we get into that situation. Let's talk a little college basketball, man. The NCAA's tournament's not that far away. There'll be conference tournaments before long, 2 or 3 weeks away, and then the big tournaments. So should be exciting. Let's go down the rankings real quick. Michigan's number 1, Houston 2, Duke 3, Arizona 4, UConn 5, Iowa State 6, Purdue 7, Kansas 8, Nebraska 9, and Illinois 10. That's updated from, I think, Monday. I know Michigan did play today. They're 25-1. They beat Purdue 91-80. And to tell you how Michigan played a little bit, man, they shot the ball really well. They shot 52% from the field, 56% from three-point line. Yeah. I think they hit 13 3-pointers, had 36 rebounds compared to 28 rebounds for Purdue. Purdue only shot 39 from the field and 30% from three-point. One thing Michigan did have trouble with, they had 14 turnovers. So that's something I think you need to clean up. I mean, but I guess if you're shooting the ball that well, you can get away with that. But again, they won 91-80. Purdue's number 7 in the country. Purdue's a strong team, and that's my pick. I said that early on. Michigan's my pick to win it all. There's a lot of good teams. Like I know Jay's a big Houston fan. They're strong. Duke, Arizona, UConn's very good. I've watched UConn quite a bit. I've seen them 3 or 4 times. They're good. Iowa State's a really good defensive team. Purdue's a team that probably not as strong as they were, and this is probably the year they might do something. So right. I guess you never know. They've got 5 losses now. Kansas is a pretty decent team. A team to watch out for that struggled early was Florida. Florida is starting to really turn it around now, and they're looking better. So you might watch. And Illinois is a very, very good team. Nebraska came out of nowhere. They're 22-3. They're a team that can play with anybody. So, guys, anybody standing out to you, Chris? I know what do you think?
Oh, the two best teams I've seen play so far this season have been Michigan and UConn. Both them teams I've been impressed with. Like you said, Michigan, they shoot the lights out of the ball. They do have to clean up turnovers. I've seen a couple times I've watched them where they can get a little sloppy with turning the ball over. UConn, I like that coach for one, but he has this team playing back at the level of the teams he had a couple years ago when they went back to back. Houston's a good team too. But yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. IU we're better than what we have been. I think we'll have a shot to make the tournament this year. IU actually plays Purdue Friday. We beat them a couple weeks ago, and then this time we play them in Purdue Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So I'm probably going to watch some of it when we get back to the house after the state finals.
Michigan State's another pretty good team from the Big Ten. They're a strong team.
And Michigan State's always good in the tournament.
Yeah,
it don't matter what they're ranked. It don't matter what they're ranked. It seems like they're always in the fucking Sweet 16.
Make the Sweet 16 somehow, some way. That coach is going to be in the Sweet 16. He don't give a shit what his record is in the regular season. We're making the damn Sweet 16. It seems like. I agree.
Isn't that Izzo? Izzo, that's their coach, right? Izzo, Tom Izzo?
Yeah.
I remember that guy.
Dude's a hell of
he's a hell of a good coach. He really is. I look at this. And like I told you earlier, Houston was doing really well, and they took that loss to Iowa State, and it knocked them back a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it knocked them back a little bit. They're still above UConn, which is good. I look at UConn. I think UConn's one of those kind of teams. I always get a little nervous about UConn. It's just a strong basketball program over there. Go ahead.
They play defense.
Yeah, they do. They do. And, one thing is I don't see those scrub Hoosiers on here, so that's a good thing. I don't know about
I think
I
we're
don't, have
not,
to worry,
I
I,
think
don't have to
we're,
worry about, I don't have to worry about hearing the Hoosiers for a while.
I think we're
So
not.
that's good.
I think we're 19-8, and I take that. I mean, you're talking about a team that didn't have any returning players,
Yeah,
nobody back this year, completely brand new
this is
team.
a
I'll
whole
take
new
19
team,
and
whole
8
new
right now.
coach.
Yeah, nobody back from last year. I'll take 19
It's like
and 8.
Indiana's identity has completely shifted from basketball to football, and nobody's like, the basketball
And
thing, whatever.
And we beat the number 7 team in the country just like last week or about a week and a half ago. We beat Purdue.
We got handled by
And-
Illinois pretty good.
Yeah, Illinois is pretty good, but then we barely lost to Nebraska. We played. I think it was Michigan State. We played pretty. They barely beat us.
Right.
Like we've been competitive. We just have to find ways to. We either shoot lights out or we can't hit shit. We gotta get a little more consistent with our shooting.
Yeah.
So you want to get more of a gray area and not so black and white right now. I got you. My thing about it is, Tony, and the last time we talked about these rankings, and it's been a little bit, but the last time we talked about these rankings, the Spartans were, I believe, in the top 5 at that point. And now that's been a little bit back. And now you look at them, them and North Carolina have both dropped 5 spots.
Yeah.
So both of them were around the number 10 and 11 spot. Now they're sitting at about 15. I agree with Chris, and I think I agree with you that I think they're going to find their way into the tournament. But that team has taken a step back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Michigan, I mean, that's a tough team right now.
Well, yeah. But Michigan State, you got to remember, Jay, what we just, like we said, there's 4 teams that they in the top 10 that Michigan State's had to play. So it's a very good conference. And like I said, Michigan State is a team, man. It just still, as long as they make the tournament, they seem like they're going to make it to the Sweet 16. It just, and I think
I wouldn't be surprised if they do, Tony, because that's the thing. When you hit playoffs, that stuff, them records go out the window. Now it's just 0-0. Let's go. And that playoff atmosphere it's a completely different animal. Now I will tell you this: Texas Tech has moved up 3 spots. Florida's moved up 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of crack that top 10 or get at least close to cracking the top 10 before we hit the tournament. So those are 2 teams I would keep my eye on. But again, like I was telling you before the show, Con, I'll tell these guys out here now, the Big 12 has an opportunity. Doesn't mean they're going to get there, but they have an opportunity to have a large amount of programs, at least 4 or 5 programs in that top 3 seeded area. So that's the Big 12 is definitely something to keep an eye on as we get closer.
Right now, you got to think Houston's got a good shot of being a 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah.
At worst, a 3 seed, unless they just really fall apart. But in Iowa State, the same thing. I don't know about a number 1 seed, but definitely a 2 or 3 seed right now. So, and Michigan right now, again, things can happen, of course, but they're 25-1. They're almost a shoe. Unless they fall apart, they're a shoe in to be a top 3 seed. Right now, they could be the number 1 seed overall. I mean, where they're playing right now.
Let me ask you guys this: what's happening to the SEC? The SEC is starting to drop off. They're starting to drop off some in football, and then this year in college basketball, they fell off a cliff. Like usually,
because I was looking at what they got in there. Alabama's like at 25.
I was gonna say you usually have a lot of SEC teams up in that top 15, and there's not very many.
I see 2, right? So Arkansas is at 20, Bama's at 25. Correct me if I'm wrong. Florida is an SEC team, correct?
Yes.
So that's 3. That's 3 SEC teams.
Yeah, but they were having
so far. But that's it. I think that's all. I only see 3.
They don't have none in the top 10. Like,
no, they don't.
It's very unusual.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's, and they wouldn't. I mean, they're still good. Don't get me wrong. They're still one of the top conferences of football, but they haven't been as strong in football as they have in the past either. And then now you're seeing the SEC kind of drop in basketball.
Correct me if I'm wrong. My brain doesn't always work correctly, but didn't Florida win the title last year? Or they came close to winning it?
I think they won it.
They won, right? So the SEC, I mean, they did. If memory serves correctly, they won last year.
I know they won it recently. I want to say last year.
Because I think it was Houston. Houston played Florida, and I remember Florida beating us. I remember that. And I want to say Florida won the title. So it's not like the SEC hasn't gotten there. But I'm going to tell you this, though, Chris. Kelvin Sampson for U of H came out and said, look, we're paying our guys what the market says they're worth. But I'm gonna tell you right now, apparently Houston's NIL money is not exactly great. Like and I don't know how that's a poor program, but he made it out to be like they're poor when you hear him talk about the NIL money, which is weird to me.
I know they're saying that the Big Ten has more NIL money. Big Ten schools do than the SEC schools do in football.
I believe that.
Some of them, not all of them, because I know like IU don't spend near as much as like Ohio State and some of them.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, we're starting to spend more, but we're not at that level yet. But like Alabama and some of these other colleges, like they don't have that kind of NIL money.
The SEC was good for so long because they had good, before the NIL was there, they had good recruitments in the living rooms, right? Saban was the master, right? Yeah. But NIL came, and then now all of a sudden, yes, the Big Ten's got money. And when you say the NIL comes in, hey, they're like, hey, they make that shit rain.
Hey, down south was they were the masters of sliding them money bags underneath the table.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, now it doesn't matter because now everybody can do it openly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, guys. It seems the NIL seems like it's affected, at least to me. And if I'm wrong, tell me if you think differently. It's affected football more so far than it has basketball. Because if you look at
I would say you're right.
Because if you look at the top teams, because Michigan's been there, Houston's been there, Duke's been there, Arizona, UConn, Iowa State, Purdue. Most of them teams are still the normal teams. I'm not seeing nobody jump up like IU did or Texas Tech in football, the way they jumped up. I'm not seeing that many.
Well, that's the thing, right? I feel like
not yet, at least.
Yeah, no, I feel like the SEC has always been football centric. I don't know that they've ever really been basketball. I think Florida has, because Florida's one that I think Florida is, but I think the SEC has been more football because look at Duke. The Ivy Leagues have more championships in SEC. Look how many Duke has.
But don't forget, Jay, you got Kentucky.
And UConn.
You got Kentucky in the SEC, and they've dropped off.
You're right, 100%, 100%. But look at UConn and Duke. How many titles they have between the two of them? A lot.
Yeah, but I don't even know what conference Connecticut's in now. What are they in?
Well, UConn, I think, is an independent, just like Notre Dame.
They used to be in a conference, but that was the Big East. But I don't know where they're at now.
I think what I'm saying, UConn right now they're an independent with Notre Dame.
Because Big East was a great conference at one time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, basketball is a whole different animal in schools and in the schools that do that, you know.
Well,
I think you see a lot of Big West teams out there in it.
I think you're right about the NIL, about the competition wise, but I think where NIL has really hurt college basketball is viewership wise, because now nobody really knows the teams, because just like IU, we have a whole new team this year, and like the players switch so often, so a lot of people don't even watch college basketball until it gets to March, till it gets to the tournament. Where
I don't watch a lot of games.
Where before you knew the players on the team and you kind of watched almost every game. I think that's where NIL has really hurt college basketball is ratings and people watching it, watching the regular season. That part don't hurt football as much because every game means so much. Where in college basketball, they play so many games that every game don't mean as much as it does in college football or like the NFL. So even if teams are changing, people still watch it because there's so much on the line. Where in college basketball, NBA, stuff like that, people don't pay attention as much during regular season because there's so many games, and they know, not in maybe college basketball, but in a lot of the sports, especially like NBA and some of them sports, they don't even care about the regular season.
Yeah. Well, my number one sport is NFL, but and not just because of IU, I would say over the last 5 years, I watch more college football than I do. I watch the NBA finals, and of course, I watched them more with the Pacers got in. I watched the NBA tournament. I didn't watch a lot of regular NBA games. I watch more college football than I do NBA. Baseball probably pretty close, especially if since the Reds are playing a little bit better. But Probably my number 2 sport now is college football. And I think what helped me with that is when they went to more teams in the tournament. Instead of just having when it was just, hey, we're going to name the top 2 teams and play. You know,
And correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're getting ready to redo that format again. I think they're going to go to 24 teams or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
at some point, I know they're talking about it.
Yeah, it's staying at
12.
12 for now.
They almost went to 16, but they didn't.
SEC's wanting to go to 16. The Big Ten's wanting to go to 24.
I think 24 is too many. I think
that's
16.
almost like a mini March Madness for football.
Yeah, I think 16.
I think 12's fine if you take away these stipulations and just go by the top 12 fucking ranked teams. I don't care what conference you're from, what any of that bullshit. Just whatever the top 12 teams are, that's the 12 in the tournament.
Because that's the BS I don't like. I don't like these invited teams. Like if you get an invite,
nobody would have complained this year if the ACC wouldn't have had that fuck up tiebreaker rule and Miami would have won the ACC championship. Notre Dame would have been in too, and nobody would have bitched about the only being 12 teams. But because that was fucked up, and then you end up with 2 group of 5 teams in there that shouldn't have been in. It messes everything up.
When Tulane and James Madison are in there on invites, that's a problem.
It should just be a problem. It should just be the best 12 teams.
Yeah,
however they're ranked. I don't care what conference you're from.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Well, guys, that's all I got. You guys got anything before we get out of here for tonight?
I just, one thing I wanted to talk, but to stay on the college side of it. What's really interesting to me enough is Baylor used to always be, in the March Madness. They always had a pretty damn good team. And Baylor has taken a huge downshift in their basketball even their football program. The last time I think they had a good football program, I think RG3 was their quarterback.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's how far you go to. I'm really surprised that Baylor has taken such a huge step back. Given the amount of money that program has, I felt like if nothing else, their basketball program should be much further along. I know they can pay the NIL money. They ain't got no problems with that. I'm really surprised that they've taken such a big step back. Yeah, that's all I was going to say. That's all I had.
Good. You can have all the NIL money you want. If you don't spend it on the right people, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Words to live by, Chris. Words to live by.
Everybody, I appreciate you watching. Hey, tomorrow night we'll be back with Hot Seat with OG Tony. That's me and the gang. I think even Goofy Glenn will be here, I think. We're going to have some more fun, guys. I've got 7 or 8 questions, and then I've got a real interesting top 10 list, and I'll let you know what it is so you can think about this. The top 10 favorite breakfast cereals of all time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Real quick. Hey, real quick. I want to start putting this out into the universe.
I'm about ready to put this out in the universe
right now.
With this. So. Go ahead,
Jay. Hey, hold on. I just want to put this out into the universe. If the governor of Texas happens to watch this program, I think you should allow the people in the state of Texas, like fireworks stands. They should have marijuana stands on April 20th that we can buy marijuana.
What the hell?
Saying, I feel like you should give that to us. I thought that should be a federal holiday. Because you know why? You know why? Because on that day, crime will be down 100% because everybody will be on the couch, weeded out. I'm just saying.
How do we get from cereal to marijuana?
How do we get the breakfast cereal?
Can I tell you how? Because what the hell do you do after you smoke weed? I smoke cereal. I eat whatever the hell I can find.
Smoke cereal. You get some Lucky Charms and smoke. Oh shit! Jay just completely come unglued there.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm going to eat a bowl.
Hey, Tony.
I'm going to eat a bowl of Captain Crunch. I'm going to eat a bowl of Captain Crunch probably here in just a little bit.
But yeah, I got some interesting questions again, like we did last week, and then we'll do the top 10 breakfast cereals of all time. So that's
also
tomorrow,
in the
guys.
Breakfast cereal, I would like to do. What is your favorite breakfast cereal concoction? Like, what do you add to your cereal? Is there anything you add? Do you just do raisin, or for me, it's raisin bran, milk, sugar, or do you add other components? I just want to know if you have a concoction. I will tell you my concoction on that show.
I know who was it. I think it was my mom used to eat Frosted Flakes with bananas. She would slice up bananas and put in her Frosted Flakes.
Grandma did.
I thought so.
I'm going to give you, when we do that show, I'm going to give you my concoction, and I'm telling you, when you eat my concoction, it's like crack cocaine.
I'm not eating your
It's
concoction.
that good. Oh, it's good.
I'm still, who knows what the hell you put in your concoction? you might be putting some cock in it. You say concoction. Who knows? So I'm staying away from your cereal.
It thickens up the milk pretty good.
I stirred it up for you.
Probably gives it a good stir.
It's good stirred up for you, Tony. Here you go.
Man, this milk is awfully thick.
Oh shit, we're off the rails. Oh,
Don't even let me tell you about some sticky white rice. That's the best.
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay. Everybody have a good night. Oh Lord.